Welcome to lesson number 4. Today we're going to be talking about mortgages. So a mortgage is a type of loan that's used to purchase property, and the property can be used as collateral. So if the person that borrows the money can't pay it back, then whoever lends the money can recover its loan by taking the property back. So the person that borrows the money is called the mortgagor, and the person that is lending the money is called the mortgagee. Now, amortization. So to amortize a mortgage is to repay a mortgage in equal periodic payments over a given amount of time. So the amortization period is the time that it will take to completely pay off the mortgage if the interest and periodic payments remain constant. So it is common to have amortization periods of 15, 20, or even 25 years. The term of the mortgage is the length of time the mortgagee agrees to make the mortgage payments to the bank. So in the past, the term of the mortgage and the amortization period were the same thing. So it's different today, however, because we have fluctuating interest rates and the desire of lending institutions to increase profits. The term of a mortgage has taken a different meaning. An amortization period is still given as the period of time it would take to pay off the loan, but the term of the loan can be a much shorter period of time. So at the end of the term, a new mortgage agreement can be negotiated with that same lending institution, and then a new amortization period can happen. And you can also choose a different interest rate when that occurs. So by Canadian law, and here's just a little note, mortgage interest must be calculated at most semi-annually. So therefore, for mortgages, CY will always be 2, and most of the time PY is 12, which represents monthly payments. And then payments are made at the end of the month for mortgages and for loans. Now let's complete this chart. So a 3-year mortgage at 5.25% amortized at over 25 years. So the amortization period is 25 years here. The term is 3 years. Oh, and you can't even see what I'm writing. There we go. So again, a 3-year mortgage at 5.25%. Amortization period is 25 years. It's because it's amortized over 25 years, and it's a 3-year mortgage. So the term is 3 years. We have a mortgage negotiated for 5 years at 4.20%. If payments are continued at this rate, the loan will be paid off in 15 years. So the amortization period is 15 years. And this is a 5-year term. Now let's take a look at class example number 2. So Justin and Jennifer bought a house in Ridge Acres for $300,000, and they made a 20% down payment and negotiated a 5-year mortgage at 3.82% per year, compounded semi-annually. The mortgage is amortized over 25 years. We want to determine, first of all, the amortization period. That's 25 years. We want to determine the term of the mortgage. So that was a 5-year mortgage. So that was 5 years. We want to determine the amount of the down payment. So they made a 20% down payment. So 20% of $300,000. Would be $60,000. And the amount to be financed would be the total amount minus the down payment. Be a $240,000 mortgage. Now we want to complete the following using the TVM solver to determine what the monthly mortgage payment will be. So let's type in what we have here. Now, first of all, what is the PMT, the payment value, and why is it going to be negative? Well, that's actually what we are looking to determine, is what the payment value is. So let's plug everything else in. So the interest is 3.82%, and actually let's start with N. Explain why the entry for N is 25 times 12. So the mortgage is to be paid off in monthly payments, right? So we pay them off per monthly payments, and we're doing that for an amortization period of 25 years, for 25 years. And so, and let me just run through that again. That because of that, 25 years and at a monthly payments is 25 times 12. The interest rate was 3.82%. The principal value is $240,000. We want to see what the payment is going to be. For FV, final value payment, yeah, we're not sure. I'm just put 0 for now. Payment, we don't. FV is going to be 0, assuming that we pay that off. And what is the PV value? Oh, we already inputted that. So PV is equal to $240,000, which is the amount to be financed. Now, PMT, let's calculate what that is. Oh, and actually, sorry, before we calculate PMT, remember PY generally for a mortgage is going to be 12, and it's compounded semi-annually maximum, so that will equal 2. So in order to find out what the payment is, alpha, enter, we get negative $1,235.23. All right, so negative $1,235.23. Again, this is negative because this value is paid out of pocket. So, moving on, what would their house really cost if the term was continuously renegotiated to be the same throughout the amortization period? So, if it was the same, we would have $300. Sorry, that's not dollars. My value of N is 300 terms of payment times $1,235 and 23 cents plus 60,000. So the 60,000, remember, this is the down payment that they had. All right, so we have 300 times 5.23 plus 60, $430,000. $569. So again, that question was answering, so what would their house really cost if the term was continuously renegotiated to be the same through the amortization period? And so we have the same period, 300 terms, times the amount that they're paying back the loan at, and including the down payment they had, their house would be worth, or not worth, but it would cost them this much money on a $300,000 house. So after the 5-year term, the mortgage is up for renewal. What is the amount on the mortgage left to be renewed? So in order to, after the 5-year term, so 5 by 12, that's the number of terms, or the 5-year term, the term number multiplied by the monthly payments. And we still have the same interest rate, 3.82%. The principal value is $240,000. And the payment that we're making is $1,235.23. 12, and that's 2. So we want to see is FV. Apps. And so just want to make sure everything here is the same again. 5 by 12 now. 3.82, 240, 1235, 12 and 2. So we get an FV of negative $208,269. And 42 cents. So that is the amount on the mortgage that's left to be renewed. So describe the changes to the TVM solver if Justin and Jennifer choose to pay their mortgage weekly and calculate their weekly payments under this scenario. So in this example, so as payments are made, so if it's weekly, then there's 52 weeks in a year. So 52 times per year. That means what we got to do is change N from 25 times 12 to 25 times 52. And PY will also change to 52. So let's take a look here. Yeah, so moving up, we'd have 52 times 12, and PY we would also change to 52. And we're looking to see the weekly payments here. So $216.25. So $216.25. So the weekly payment would equal $216 and 25 cents. Now, part F. So most banks offer an accelerated weekly payment plan as well. The weekly payment is calculated by dividing the monthly payment by 4, then the resulting amount is paid weekly. Explain why the accelerated weekly payment plan will pay the mortgage off faster. Okay, so how it usually works is as such. So if you're making more frequent payments, so making more frequent payments leaves less so when you pay more frequently, what happens is there's less interest being compounded, or less interest that is accumulating for your monthly compared to the monthly plan. So what would be the payment using the accelerated weekly payment plan? So the payment, if we use the accelerated payment plan, we had $1,235.23 divided by 4. So 1,235.23 divided by 4. So the weekly payment plan would be $308.80, or 81 cents actually, 308.81. Now, assuming that the interest rate remains the same throughout the amortization period, determine how long it will take to pay off the mortgage using the accelerated weekly plan. So, using our accelerated weekly plan, so the value of n, that's what we're looking for here. So I'm just gonna leave that as 0, 3.82, 240 still. The payment is no longer 216, it is 308.81. And FV, we're saying it's 0, and 52 weeks, and CY, ooh, that could have been a mistake earlier. I'm gonna have to double check that one. But let's see what this value of n is gonna be. 615. So n is equal to that. Why is it negative? Oh, this is why it's negative, because my payment should be negative. Negative 308.81. Let's try this again. There we go. So 1,144 weeks. So, and using TVs, this is 1,144 weeks. And that's actually 0.9. So n is actually equal to 1,145 weeks. So if we divide this by 52 weeks in a year, that works out to about 22 years.